Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Star Wars Stuff Podcast, where we talk all things Star Wars. My name is Colin.
Hey, I'm Josh.
Okay, so Mason's going to be in and out today because his Wi-Fi is not the best, so he will comment as much as he can.
My internet is
All right.
having problems once again.
All
Again, I'm so glad the internet
Okay.
guys have come out twice.
Oh God, this is gonna be a long episode, isn't it?
Long
Okay.
episode.
All right.
Buckle up.
Now,
Alrighty. Sorry, go ahead and jump into the news, Colin. It's all you, brother.
Okay. Anyways, so for this week, there's not that much to talk about, but we are here to hype you up because next week,
let's go.
In front of Andor is IMAX.
Woo!
Rogue One is coming back to the IMAX.
Let's go, baby.
Star Wars is back to IMAX. So here's my question. I got my ticket. Josh, did you end up getting one?
No, I don't have my ticket just yet, but we are looking at getting some tickets. I just need to be able to get the time off.
Okay. All right. Excellent. Mason, this will be a long response, but did you end up getting a ticket for Rogue One?
No, I have not. And I will definitely get one though.
All right. Yeah. I would definitely look into it. Because it does come with an exclusive.
I would give anything to go watch Rogue One in theaters again. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I know. So what's great is that it does come with this exclusive IMAX poster, but it also comes with a exclusive look at Andor. So a lot of us are speculating it will probably show the first 10 minutes, which is exciting.
Do we know what the runtime is from what they're saying currently? Because I think you'd be able to figure it out from there.
You know what? I haven't looked just yet. I will.
That's a great idea, Josh. Why don't we check that out?
You know what? That's a great idea. That's a wonderful idea. But
Star Wars Stuff Podcast logo on it. If it doesn't come with our logo on it, I kind of don't want the.
It does not come with our logo on it.
That is so disappointing.
I know.
That's all right though.
But in other news, Mark Ruffalo recently made a comment, and I'm really curious of what you guys think about it. He was asked about, Star Wars and maybe potentially joining it, and this is what he said. He said, if you watch Star Wars, you're pretty much going to get the same version of Star Wars each time. It might have a little bit of humor. It might have a little bit of different animation, but you're always really in that same kind of world. But with Marvel, you can have a whole different feeling even within the Marvel universe. How do you guys feel about that?
I mean, I guess, because I mean, like, that's like saying, well, technically in the multiverse, there's another multiverse where all of Star Wars is real, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, we have all these multiverses where all this stuff can change, and it's like it's unlimited like possibilities. But I guess Star Wars doesn't have unlimited possibilities. It's definitely it's a hot take comment, but it's kind of like I'm pretty unfazed with that one. I mean, how many times can you see a CGI fest of like Marvel? Like, I think you eventually get just like superhero kind of, what is it called, like fatigue. And I think that's where we're at like right now, is a lot of people have superhero fatigue. So I mean, that comment's pretty just like, it's like, yeah, but not really at the same time, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, here's my thing about it. For the Star Wars universe to be the same, I'm comparing, because if you look at Marvel, you have that same concept. Because it's taking place in the same universe. It's the same story. It's just added to it. That's exactly what Star Wars is. So I really don't understand his comment in a way.
Yes. Yeah. It's funny because like I would literally just say that Marvel stuff is just the exact Like,
Yeah.
it's even worse in my opinion. Of just like, oh, look it up. Look, like, just it's the same thing, and again, it's the same thing over and over again. Yay!
Yeah. Yep. So
Same
I
thing,
just
different
I don't
veteran
know.
heroes.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, I don't know. I think it will be interesting.
I mean, he'd be great. I would
Yeah.
love him in Star Wars, but I mean,
Yeah.
that doesn't mean he wouldn't do it. I don't think. Is it him saying he wouldn't do it, or is he just saying, well, you know, if you've seen him, you've seen one, you've seen them all, kind of like feel.
I that's what it feels like to me. Of the comment that he made. I don't know. I don't
Like,
know
I
if
get he's
it's
saying that, but that doesn't mean like necessarily like he would never
right.
do it.
Because for me, it's like he is. You know, that comment sounds like a very loyal comment to Marvel of being like
I
Marvel
would
is
never
better.
leave.
Yeah, so it's like no, I was like
I
whatever.
mean, they're
but
both owned by Disney. I don't think they'd really care that much.
yeah. Pizza Kid from YouTube says the world between worlds is the farthest
Yes,
they
that's
should go with the
I
multiverse.
completely agree with that.
I
Besides
agree.
making a joke film.
I don't want to see I don't want to see them go that full multiverse route like Marvel did. Because could you imagine of just seeing like a different version of Luke Skywalker and then like having like maybe the characters look like how they were in the original concept art of Ralph McQuarrie? I think that would be like would be oh okay cool, but it's like how is that going to help the plot? Like
So
I don't
like
know.
Star Wars is and always has telling a linear storyline, right? So whenever you have new content in Star Wars, it's sort of about uh it's to feel familiar, but a little bit different. So I think like Mark Ruffalo, the way that he phrased it, do I think that he's entirely wrong? Like, can I see? Yes, but it's kind of the nice thing about Star Wars is that it's familiarity to what you love.
Yeah. Nope. I agree. But yeah, so maybe he'll join. Like, I mean, if you guys could have anyone from Marvel come over to the Star Wars universe, who would you want? Because we do have a couple of people from Marvel.
Give me the Tony Stark.
Robert
Downey Jr., please.
Who would you want to see him as? I think Chris Evans would be super cool to see in the Star Wars universe. I may be biased because I'm a big Captain America fan, but I think Chris Evans would definitely fit that vibe. Don't roll your eyes, Josh. I see you.
Hey, I mean, I think I would love to see him as a bad guy in something. That would be fun.
Have you seen his new movie, The Gray Man, on Netflix?
No.
He plays the villain in that one.
That's cool.
Yeah. And he also plays the villain on Knives Out as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But I just think, see, because like I would love to hit him to play like the character he plays in Sherlock Holmes, but like in Star Wars. I think that'd be really fun.
Pizza Kid says that he wants Paul Rudd. I think Paul Rudd would be funny as a droid. I think he could definitely.
Yeah, that'd be pretty good.
Paul Rudd as well, actually. Funnily enough.
Yeah. And then he also said, I think Maul will be pulled out of the world between worlds in Ahsoka. No.
Whoa!
Oh boy, I don't know if I would want that. Like Maul is dead. Like keep Maul dead. If he came back, that would be.
What would they pull him out for though? Like, that's what I'm trying to say. It's like,
so
why?
I was talking with someone that we work with. His name's Shane, and he was saying when they eventually find Ezra, that Ezra and Thrawn would be like good. So like Thrawn wouldn't be a bad guy anymore, and there wouldn't
That
be
would
like
be cool.
there really wouldn't be a antagonist. And Shane said that that the whole reason why that Thrawn was part of the Empire, because the Empire and the Emperor promised to help him with his people, and now the Emperor is dead, and he was saying that maybe Thrawn doesn't have the viewpoint anymore, and he really doesn't know that much about his people. So he said that there would be that possibility where Thrawn would be like, "Oh yeah, I'm no longer, evil and stuff. I'm good now," and that would beg the question: who would end up being like the next big bad? Because Moff Gideon, is bad, but I don't think he would be in like on that level. I think he is more of like a general, but I don't think he's like the main bad guy. I think there would be someone behind it. Would it be Maul if he got pulled out of the
for me
War
is what
Between
I
Worlds?
thought they were trying to do was make Thrawn the ultimate bad guy, being that
That's my thought.
He's the reason of how the First Order came to be.
So we actually know how the First Order came to be.
How?
Oh, well, the First Order came to be by General Hux's father. He was a founding member. The reason why they were all meeting on Jakku was to like regroup, and some of them escaped and then went into hiding, and then they recreated it from there. So the Empire, technically quotations died, but I don't know. It's very interesting because as a time point of the Mandalorian, the Battle of Jakku already happened, right? So we're 5 years after the events of Return of the Jedi. The Battle of Jakku happened a year after that. So it's like most of all the leaders are dead. And I don't know, like, do you see Moff Gideon being like the main villain or no?
No, because of how serious Bo-Katan was about meeting where Thrawn was.
Think about they make Maul the big bad for the fourth release. So it's actually funny that you say that, because of the original plot for the sequels was going to have Darth Maul be like the main bad guy. Like he was going to be like the main bad guy of what 7, 8, and 9 was going to be. So Maul would have survived that entire time, because George Lucas, never really worked on Star Wars Rebels or anything, and that was the actual blueprint, I guess, that he handed to Bob Iger, and then Bob Iger was like, actually, I think we're going with a different approach. So they never used Maul in live action again, which I think that would have been cool to have Maul like survive until that point. But the way that his story was told in Star Wars Rebels and the way that it ended of him trying to get revenge on
I'm sorry, was that George Lucas's always like was that always his plan? Apparently, like he's like Maul would have been like this from the beginning. Like
I see, that's the thing. I don't know. I definitely would love to hear his full out thought process of that, because there were a lot of which ironically I was about to say this, but he just said it. There were a lot of sequel ideas that were scrapped, that George came up with and other people came up with. The idea was, because there was also the idea of having Lando playing a larger part as well, and then Lando only showed up in The Rise of Skywalker. So it's very interesting to see what didn't make it. Do you remember the time of when the movie was about to come out and there were all of those theories, like of how like Snoke was Darth Plagueis, and
yes, I do.
and like Finn, yeah, and like Finn was like the lost long son of Mace Windu or something, and it was just like people were just coming up with all of these theories, and then when the movie came out, then people were butthurt because some of their theories didn't come true. But I like the way that Force Awakens ended, because it did raise a lot of questions, because we were like, who's Snoke and everything, and then you go to Last Jedi and you're just like, oh, Okay. Well,
I guess not.
I guess not. I guess that's not happening today. So I would love to see more of Maul. I would love to see, probably, not getting pulled out of the world between worlds. If he did Pizza Guy, we will definitely give you credit. But I don't know. I know Ray Park would be down. I know Sam Witwer loves Maul. He's been that character for so long now. And I think that would definitely be an amazing tie-in for that character. But we'll have
I mean,
to
if
see.
anything, if you seeing him back on screen, it would have been like Kira's era.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't doubt he could come back on screen, but I don't think he would come back now. But like, if you're gonna use the world between, or like use the whole veil and everything, I would have assumed, because we had made comments before of like, wouldn't it be cool if she gets to like learn the origin of the Jedi and like learn from these points in time, not like just be like, I'm gonna pull someone through, but like go there and be like, yes, this is where the Jedi began. Yes, like that kind of stuff. I think that'd be pretty cool.
I would love to see her maybe go back in time and maybe see a small cameo of Tar Vizsla. I think that would be, which I think we talked about, like of
yeah, I
just
would love
that
to
small
see
stuff.
I would love to see like the forging of the dark.
Yeah.
And I'd like to see a little bit about like ancient Mandalorian history.
The thing for
That's
me
something
is
we
like with all the
have
hype
right
that
now.
we've really put into like Grogu at this point, like how does he fit into the sequel era is what I'm really interested in seeing.
I'm
Yeah.
hoping that we dive deep into that because of something that we talked about on our Patreon daily, like a while back, was that they were already apparently they are getting ready to film season 4 of Mando, and if they're already getting ready to film it, either season 3 ends on a big cliffhanger, or they like are trying to keep up with all the shows. But that makes more sense if like season 3 left on a cliffhanger and they were like, okay, we can't wait too long to start filming the next season. So I'm thinking that we'll probably get footage like that over at Star Wars, at Star Celebration next year for season 4, kind of like we got like the footage for Ahsoka when it was way too early to get it, but we got it anyway. Which that trailer's been all over online lately. Like it leaked again. So I was just like, well, I don't know how, but somehow it leaked. But yeah, oh no, I'm excited. I'm excited to see what they end up doing with season 3. There's so much to look forward to. I'm excited to see more of his ship, more action, more things that we know about, more lore to be explored.
Lore to be explored.
Lore to be explored. But yeah.
More stuff for them to rewrite out of the comics.
That's a reference to the Book of Boba Fett. That's funny. But we have D23 coming
Video
up.
game time. Woohoo!
Yes, and this is actually the first video game, like actual games panel, that they're going to have at D23, and they are going to touch up on some of the upcoming new Lucasfilm video games and the upcoming Marvel games. Now, Lucasfilm video games, so most likely they'll probably like announce when the new Indiana Jones game is coming out. That honestly makes sense for me.
Who's making it? Is it Bethesda?
What?
Is it Bethesda who's making it?
I think so.
I'm almost sure it's Bethesda. Did you know that, Mason?
I think
because Mason's a giant Bethesda fan.
No, he's shaking his head no. But yeah, no, I am curious of what it will all entail. They actually
definitely not a giant Bethesda fan in recent years, but
Wow,
I do like the earlier games.
As in, because they're gonna make Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Are they?
That was such a delayed reaction, but
Like, hold on, let me. Okay, you guys can keep talking. I'll do the research on that one.
Okay.
Yeah, go for it.
Something that I'm very excited for, which I was surprised, was the main game that they'll be talking about first is Lego Star Wars. So it sounds like they'll be actually adding more to the Lego Star Wars game. And with
It
that
is.
being said, it better be customization, like for your character, like actually making your character. And we need more DLC levels.
That's cool.
Yeah.
It's
I know
by
that's something
Machine
that
Games
people have been
and
asking
Bethesda.
for a long time.
All right. Wait. Say that one more time. So then
It's
Mason
by
can be
Machine
interested.
Games and Bethesda.
There you go.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Have they done anything recently?
Bethesda?
No, Machine Games.
Do you know who that is?
Not off the top of my head, no.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Have they done anything recently?
It's the Wolfenstein people.
Oh, they're the people that did Wolfenstein. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah. And one game that Josh and I are very anticipating on, I'm not including Mason because he hasn't even beat the game yet, is Jedi Survivor.
Let's go!
Yes. And I don't know if we really talked about this, Josh, but with this action figure, did you see he has a blaster on his hip? So they are going to incorporate blaster and lightsaber switch combo. So like at one point, if you want to use a blaster, you can, and then you can switch to using your lightsaber.
That's helpful.
Yeah.
Gameplay. Also, I swear that has been like the biggest media for new things for Star Wars, as in things that were like, it's just commonplace now. Like I now see like BD1s all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. So I'm like, well, I guess if we can see BD1, it's fine. And it's really cool. We even saw in Boba Fett.
Yeah. BD71, BD72. We actually got to see him over at Star Wars Celebration, like the actual one that they used in the show.
That's really cool.
But I'm honestly excited for that combo.
I am too.
Because we have seen it in Rebels, we have seen it in the sequels, because you've got Rey that that does the lightsaber and gun combo. You have Kanan that does it, and then you have Obi-Wan that recently has done it, which that's what Pizza Kid said as well. So it's like it's something that's catching on. I mean, I don't think we've ever really experienced that combo in the game, so I'm excited. I mean, actually, if you go back to Star Wars Revenge of the Sith, the video game, and you play as General Grievous, you can actually like be fighting with the lightsabers, and you can switch to his blaster, and then you can switch back to using the lightsabers. So that combo has actually been done before in a game. Can't believe I just thought of that. That was a throwback. But yeah, no, I'm so excited for this game, and I know Josh is. When the game comes out, we will definitely be live streaming that game.
Let's go!
Yeah. And by then I'm hoping to have my actual BD1 M3.
Anything about the game that Ubisoft is doing after Avatar? Because we know it's a Star Wars game.
It will be open world.
Yep. But do you think that they would show anything at this?
There's a possibility they would probably show a teaser, or at least concept art, because we haven't seen any concept art. Now, here's the question though: what era do you want that game to take place in? Because I got a feeling that because,
after the original, how many years do I think it would be?
Well, because they could, do what they're doing with the Eclipse game, which is taking place in the High Republic, but I want it to take place in an era that we actually know and have experienced. I don't want it to be the Jedi Fallen Order era. Maybe during the Mandalorian era. I think that would be cool, because there would be a lot of time to explore.
That is 100% the time I think it'll be.
Yeah.
But then again, I don't know what they're trying to, because we have a beginning, a middle, and end, and we have a lot that they just keep throwing into the middle part.
Yeah.
And I want to know what is coming of this, because there's just we have so much buildup and hype in this middle era that we don't have towards the sequel side, because we start again in the sequels. It's just like boom, like immediately like something new. Whereas with this, we're like, we got Thrawn going on, we got Ezra going on, we got Grogu going on, we got Cal going on with him making his own like Jedi Council and his own order. We got all of these different characters like placed all around the galaxy that are all like having something super important to do. And I'm like, all of these plot lines need to end in the next like in however many years, like 30 years.
Yeah.
All of those plot lines need to end. And then if not, then are they going to change it up for like the sequels? Like I wonder how they're going to be able to fix it, like fit in all this.
And here's the
stuff.
thing. Here's the thing about this era. I really don't know much about the widespread galaxy beyond like the Outer Rim, because most of what we know about the sequel or the original trilogy era is like Tatooine, like a few other planets, like what's going on in Hoth and Yavin, but we don't really know the core worlds, what's going on within the core worlds. And I know people have been dying for a bounty hunting game. Love to see Ubisoft do a sort of open world bounty hunting game, kind of like the Assassin's Creed series that they've been doing, like the new open world ones. About either some kind of like Mandalorian bounty hunter, like customizable bounty hunter that you can go and explore.
Have you seen the trailer for the newest Avatar game?
I have. I didn't even know they released a trailer. That's sick.
So I have, and what scares me is that game actually got delayed. So
all games get delayed.
I know, but this one was supposed to come out this year. And that game wasn't the only one that got delayed. The open world Harry Potter game also got delayed too.
So that we can put it on Nintendo Switch.
Yeah. Yep. So it's just like, okay, cool. And ironically, like my wife and I just got a PS5 and we're like, awesome, we've got all these new games coming out, and they're like, this one's delayed. You have to wait. And it's like, cool. I'm glad that you have old games on there that I can play, like the old Jango Fett Bounty Hunter game. That's cool. So I don't know. I'm very excited for all these new open world games. Star Wars is something that I've been waiting for to be like a full out open world game. I think the closest like glimpse of one that we've gotten is
Star Wars Galaxies.
Is the new Lego Star Wars game actually.
Did you ever play Galaxies?
I think I did.
The MMO.
Oh man.
Dude, I love that. The before the BioWare one.
Oh, okay. I'm trying to think. Because I played the. Did you ever play the old game Star Wars: The Old Republic? I mean, not Star Wars: The Old Republic. There was this old computer game called Stronghold Crusader.
No, I don't believe I
did. So that game was like you would be able to create your army, and you would be able to like go and attack like different places, and you would like highlight your army and then move them towards different places, and you could attack different people. They like had the
same RTS
real-time strategy.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
they said the same thing.
Yeah. So they had that for a Star Wars game, and I can't think of the name of it, but they had space battles. Yeah,
I played it.
Oh,
yeah,
I played that. Yeah.
And I thought that game was amazing, and it was so detailed. I would love another game like that.
The Rebels versus the Empires, and it was super hard to win the Rebels. Oh my god.
Yeah, and then they made a second one where they had like the clones and the droids and all that too. So
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I used to play that all the time.
Yeah. Try to think of the other game I was thinking about. Yeah. So I'm hoping that we get that. There's other Star Wars games that they haven't actually officially announced yet, like of the title. They like said that here's all these games that we're working on, and here's all the companies that are working on it. but they didn't give us the title. So there's a chance that we might get those titles at Star Wars Celebration, and maybe even concept art. I will be watching very closely at those. I'm a friend that's going, so I'm gonna ask him to kind of
So D23.
yeah, I'm gonna ask him to fill me in on everything because I really would like to know like what's going on with that.
Now, here's a question for D23. Do you think that there will be another expansion to Galaxy's Edge? Drop moment.
Oh man, this is actually something that we were talking about recently. Honestly, I would love that. I would love that. The question is, what would it be? Because of the talks right now, from like from just fans and rumors in general, is that they want to. Some people are thinking that they will fade out of the sequel era, and they'll fall into that timeline of the Mandalorian. But then that question kind of, stands of, would they bring in, like, if they change the land up, would they end up changing the rides as well? Would they end up taking out all of the stormtroopers on the finalizer and turn them into original trilogy? Would they end up changing the Millennium Falcon and like changing the antenna? Like, I feel like they would have to shut the park down for like a month or something.
That sounds like a really expensive project.
I know, but this is what the fans are talking about and what they want, and it's like that's great, but you have to
That's
think about
funny because I know that they like here's their in their head. It's like no, we would never do that. But I'm like this is my point of view. Is that if they can see past the initial cost and how much that would actually make them if it was original trilogy, it would be insane.
Yeah.
Because if you can have the entire park be paid for and Universal just off of one product being butterbeer, all of the rides got paid for off butterbeer, you can do that with Star Wars. If you literally just gutted like half the things and just changed it just like enough to where it's like a few $1 million overhaul, it would have been fine. It can be fine. Completely fine.
Also give them time to potentially refurbish rides or something like that. If they wanted to do that, if they wanted to take things down and get a lot of stuff done, they could do that too.
Well, yeah, I mean,
they have a lot of free time to just do stuff around the land and make things better.
Well, because what?
More streamlined.
They would have to take out Hondo maybe, because Hondo technically wasn't there in the timeline. They would have to work on Docking Bay 7 because of the whole point of the character Cookie being there was because of Maz Kanata's castle got like blown up and all that.
Unless they just write Hondo into the timeline just for one day. If he's there for just one day doing stuff.
I know, but I think they would be contradicting themselves because of Hondo got there because of events that happened in the sequels and stuff like that. So I don't know.
I'm sure there's some kind of loophole.
I think it's an interesting concept. I think that would be very cool. I think it would be very difficult, but
I don't know why you want to go that far with it if Kylo Ren walks around with a mask on after you even destroyed it anyway. So
you've also got Poe's X-wing that blew up in The Last Jedi, and it's the same paint job. Mm-hmm. And we still got no real explanation of that. But yeah. So no, I think they could announce something like that. I mean, they did talk about stuff like for Galaxy's Edge at Star Celebration. They had a whole panel for it. California is now getting, their own bounty hunting thing. Of course, it's not exclusive to, Hollywood studios, but that's fine. That's okay. Just give them more stuff.
I don't care at all.
Yeah, no, it's, I don't know. I
know what I would change.
What?
I know what I want an announcement for. I want live entertainment at Galaxy's Edge. I want more live entertainment. I want music. I want Star Wars music, like
I want
live
Max
Star Wars music,
Rebo
though.
like to be alive during that time, which I think he already is, and I just want
And I
them to
want to go
have
see
like a
him. I
live
want to go see
stage.
him.
I also want
give him a big old kiss.
a live dancer. I want live Star Wars dancers. Like I'd love to see like what dancing looks like in Star Wars. I think that'd be cool. Like what the Batu and like sort of dance style looks like. I think it would be neat.
It is your dancing, Mason.
It's my dancing. I bring Batu to life.
No,
It's my theming.
We are
It's
Batu.
canon.
All right.
We are Batu. I'm living that story.
I would love a armory. I think that would be cool. I think seeing more of the Mandalorian culture there, I think that would be a good start. I think them walking in and being like, oh my gosh, it's a Mandalorian, and then he's got all this armor that he sells, and it's like screen accurate armor. I think that would be really, really cool. I think if they sell certain helmets, that's been something that's been talked about for a while, and I think a lot of people would be very, very excited about it.
I like my signet idea.
Yeah.
What's that?
That you get like have you seen like the pieces that people wear when they come in? It's like the little armor, this signet armor. Is that you have a forager person in the middle and they make you one?
That would be cool. That would be really, really cool. Yeah. That would give I feel like that would give Batu like a very like Renaissance festival kind of feel to it.
That honestly
like
is
a live blacksmith just like hammering away at signets and stuff. That'd be cool. Awesome. That would be so sick.
That honestly is something that we were talking about yesterday, where some of us were talking about like, hey, like how cool would it be if they ended up like, adding, somewhere that we know and like the main event that happened there. For example, like you're walking into Galaxy's Edge, but it's like Hoth. It's like the Battle of Hoth, and you see the AT-ATs fighting and everything. It's just like it's like, okay, cool. But the whole point of Galaxy's Edge is to be put into the world of Star Wars and not worry about actual events. Because now if you go and, go back and watch Empire Strikes Back and you're watching the Battle of Hoth, you're like, well, I don't see how anyone would be able to fit into the story there. It's like that doesn't make sense. Now with Galaxy's Edge, you are walking into a world that is tied into the events, but not actually happening during that event timeline. And it's a planet that we never seen before, and it's some characters that we have seen, but it's like we are being incorporated in the story just enough to where we are not like, not really fully involved, because I think that makes sense. I think that makes sense to me now why we've never seen Batu like in live action at all, and it's because of if you show Batu live action and it's during that same time period that we're in, then people might be like, oh, okay, I don't see me, I'm disappointed, so I guess I'm not canon. Like I could definitely see people doing that.
I don't know. The thing is, you have to make it so that it's available for everyone.
Yeah.
And how can you make it a different world where you immediately click onto what's actually happening?
Right.
Because there's a lot of fans that come into Star Wars and it's like, wow, I know, like I feel like it's not pleasing anyone. It's kind of like, bang, I'm in Star Wars right now. It's like I've got a couple things that I know. It's like there's the landmark Falcon, there's the landmark like Rebel symbol, like there's a landmark like X-wing and A-wing. Like those are the ones that like fans are gonna be like, boom, immediately. Whereas like you have a lot of new people or people who have never seen Star Wars. They come into like spaceship. I'm not sure what that is. And they just like walk through the whole place and they're just kind of like, there's nothing, I don't think that's really drawing them immediately in. Whereas I wish we had more of those elements. And I feel like that's a big one to try and do. It's kind of like, hey, if you're in Star Wars, I would love to see some aliens walking around, improving the land. But like right now where we're sitting, it's like, hey, if you want I could imagine like we redo everything. It's original trilogy, but how do you make it so that it still feels like Star Wars, where anyone can come in and like pick it up instead of just being like it's only for Star Wars fans?
So what else then besides like aliens and stuff would you do to be able to introduce someone who's never heard of Star Wars into Galaxy's Edge and get them like hooked immediately? What other things would you incorporate?
It's very hard. It's such a hard thing to figure out.
More pod racing, more Gungans, more. No, I'm just
More
kidding.
pod racing.
No,
we watch a pod racer come in and explode on one of the spires.
I think we are getting. I think the interactions with like characters like Chewie and Rey are great, but how cool would it be if you just had actual like people like kind of like what they have in the Halcyon of where they have different aliens that aren't like major characters, but just like different civilians like walking around. I think
cool.
I think people would be more immersed, like those like Star Wars fans that are or not even Star Wars fans. People just walk in and just be like, "Wait, who is that guy?" Like I'm so confused and keep walking away like, wait, like it's just not people in costumes. Like it's part of the land. Like this is interesting because of that. The land of Galaxy's Edge is amazing, but if, for example, if you're an annual pass holder, you probably go all the time. There's a chance that those people, will be like, well, it's not big enough. It is kind of repetitive. And that's not what you want out of like a land like Galaxy's Edge. And I think what Disneyland does so well is they don't have that limit of where they were just like, okay, well, it's the sequel era. They're like, nope, we're having Manda, we're having Grogu, we're having Boba, we're having Fennec. We're having these characters like come out and like roam around and like do more things, but stay in their areas. And I think that's interesting, and I hope they do that at Hollywood Studios. I really, really hope they do.
Here's the thing. Now that we sort of started talking about it, and I said it out loud, I never really thought about it before, but like going back and thinking about like having a signet blacksmith in the middle of Galaxy's Edge, and like mentioning that would be kind of like Renaissance fairish. Galaxy's Edge is kind of already like a big futuristic Renaissance fair, right?
Yeah.
So I think it would be
well
it's
he
like
is
one big giant land that's supposed to be themed to like a particular time and place, and everyone comes in and dresses up and comes together to do these things that are within this theming, right?
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So I feel like to draw more people into Galaxy's Edge that are like new, maybe do more live stuff that you could find at like a Renaissance fair, because like everyone loves to go to a Renaissance fair and get like the giant turkey leg or whatever. And eat that. Everyone loves to go and watch like jousting or like live fighting, or find these little bits.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you, Mason. That is a great idea. That's a great idea, Mason. Why haven't we done that?
I don't know. But yeah, no. I mean,
like turn Galaxy's Edge into just like a really big like Star Wars themed Renaissance festival. That's kind of what it's already going for, and I think that would be so easy to draw people into.
I agree. There's always room for more Star Wars, and I think we'll definitely get that soon. One last thing, I wanted to ask you guys and see what you thought about this.
Ooh.
What do you think the sequels would have been like if Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau were in charge of it?
Oh man, that's a big question, Colin.
Yeah.
The sequels?
Yeah.
Or the prequels? Sequels?
I'm talking about the sequels, like of Rey and Finn. Now, if they took over it,
I don't know, man.
Now, most likely, if they did, they would have focused on main characters like that we know, and they probably wouldn't have had Rey and Finn and all in those characters. Those characters probably won't exist.
I guess who's to say? This question is bringing up a completely different timeline where completely different things would have happened.
That's
Like
the
the way
point of
that
the question.
Yeah, but like, where do you start? I guess is my question. Like,
I-
where do you start? Because the sequel trilogy, it was supposed to be something completely new, right? That's sort of like that was sort of that
I
had
would love to see
familiar
their take
characters,
on
right?
something that's very new, like super new, something that we've never seen before.
Right.
Yeah, and that kind of tracks back to what Mark Ruffalo was saying, where he was like, all the Star Wars is the same, except sometimes the animation is different, and it's like, no, Star Wars is on that.
No.
It's like, no, Star Wars is on that fine level of following the blueprint. Marvel is different because they like just keep adding stuff to their story. But the reason why Star Wars works so well and people like it, it's because it reminds us of the original movies. And and it just takes us back to our childhood. Now Marvel just keeps adding stuff to please all audiences, right? So they are I see
think
Josh's face.
I think Star Wars does the same thing. The problem, like the difference is that like in Star Wars, you don't need to have like these superpowers to be able to contest with someone like Thanos to make a difference in the galaxy.
Right.
And I think it adds a little bit more of a personal touch. And I'm not saying that Marvel doesn't do that well. They just do it in a different way.
My own personal touch on even saying that kind of thing is that like in Star Wars, it's like yeah, you can basically do whatever you want. You can be the bad guy and enjoy being the bad guy, and people will support you in being that bad guy. When you can basically do whatever you want in this galaxy. Whereas it's not like that for Marvel. You have a set film and you know who your good is and you know who your bad is.
Yeah, you have your archetypes for certain.
Yeah. So I'm
With
kind of like,
with Star Wars, it just feels more like I don't know. It feels more like fresh off the streets. I guess it looks at like just everyone and just normal day life and like this is how it is. This is how things are in the galaxy, and this is what like you're sort of constrained to. Where with Marvel, it's like, ah, yes, you have this crazy X factor that turned this person into a god. I feel like, and now they're going and contesting some ultimate evil. And both are great franchises. I love Marvel. I love Star Wars.
Yeah.
I just think they're different, and I think they both do the same thing really well in their own way, which is entertain. I think that's just it. Like that's all there is to say about it.
That was a very sugar-coated answer, but okay. So no, I'm just kidding.
Wow.
No. I understand where you're coming from. For like me, it's just like in Marvel, it's specifically saying you have to have powers to make a difference. That's what it really sounds to me. When in Star Wars, it's saying like doesn't matter who you are in the galaxy, it doesn't matter who you're connected to, you can make a difference.
But I mean,
And
not even because Black Widow doesn't have powers, right?
well, like I am,
she's dead.
yeah, I am.
He is dead. You know, never mind. You know who's also dead? Tony Stark. That's
Yep. So no, I'm like it's. I have nothing against Marvel. I
on
love
further
Marvel. Like
review.
I'm a big Captain. What?
I said upon further review, I recede. Go ahead.
Okay, cool. No, so I've got nothing against Marvel. Like I think Marvel is a great franchise and it's the gift that keeps on giving. We like recently just got Moon Knight and that show was phenomenal.
So good.
And then we have the new She-Hulk show, which apparently is I'm quoting this. This is the most highest like ranking show that they brought to Disney Plus that is Marvel. And I'm very interested by that statement.
Is it
Apparently so.
interesting?
Yeah. So but I think the franchise would be I think the sequels would maybe look more happy on. Like, I mean, I think people would be more satisfied if Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni like handled the sequels, because the sequels were handled by multiple people and not the same group each time. I think that's where it kind of went, kind of astray. When you have Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni working on almost every new Star Wars project that has come to Disney Plus, and that's been like one story. Like Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni even helped with Obi-Wan Kenobi. Like they like kind of helped guide them over there. And I think that if they did the sequel trilogy, I think that would have been crazy because um Dave Filoni essentially was the apprentice of George Lucas, right? So Dave Filoni learned everything that he knows, mainly about film and animation and the Star Wars lore, from George Lucas. Now, J.J. Abrams and Rian Johnson didn't have that. So in my mind, I don't think they fully understood Star Wars when Dave Filoni has understood it all along. And that's why we love Mandalorian. That's why we love all these other shows, the Clone Wars, Rebels, all that. It's because Dave Filoni understands what Star Wars really is.
Yes.
Just an ending thought. But
Also, I feel like it's the main lack of a plan. I will say like the sequels. It's just I feel like just because the lack of the future. It's like we knew where we wanted to start. We just never knew where we wanted to end, and that caused way more problems than they thought it ever could.
I agree.
So, I mean, I feel like they would have came in through with a plan and been able, like, even let's say like the first episode ended up happening, right? Completely. Even if those two came in, I feel like they would have been able to piece something together and make it work well.
I agree.
Because no one liked Ahsoka to begin with.
Right. Yeah, that was a big thing. And I remember through the seasons, then Ahsoka became a fan favorite. And then I remember when Star Wars Rebels came out, people
No one liked the
flipped
prequels
out.
when they came out. Nobody liked the prequels when they came out.
And okay, whoa. Not everyone.
Okay, I will.
Maybe
okay.
you didn't.
I love the prequels
did.
when they came out.
Yeah.
A lot of people gave the prequels flack. The majority, I feel like, of people that I spoke to did not like the prequels.
Do you like the sequels, Mason?
I do not. No, not personally. I like things about them. I like things about them. There are definitely great things. Like I said, I will rave about the design of the sequels all day. I think the designs for the sequels were phenomenal. And the ideas that were proposed were really, really good. I think the execution of the plan was just not there.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've talked about it so much. It's like beating a dead horse, you know?
Oh, wow. Okay.
Like, yeah, everyone knows what my stance on the sequels is.
Yeah, I know. And then one final thing. The show Acolyte sounds like we will be getting Darth Plagueis. How do we
Finally!
feel about that? Yeah.
Finally! Something new! Finally!
Oh, brother, this guy eats!
Yeah, no, what?
Nothing.
Oh.
Just a dumb reference. dumb reference.
Okay, well, I am excited for Darth Plagueis to finally come in, because we know his story very well, through like Legends and everything, but we don't know it in live action, and I think they will touch upon that, and Acolyte, and we could probably get like a young Palpatine as well. And I'm glad that we'll be focusing on actual dark side characters. Now, I don't want them to pull like a Star Wars Battlefront 2 campaign where you're Iden Versio on a couple of like Imperial missions and then she turns to the light. I don't want that. I want them to be dark side the entire time.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this whole game is sort of going to be like, do we feel like this is going to be like the
This is not a game. It's a show.
Or do we feel like the show is going to be sort of like the antithesis to Jedi Fallen Order? Like where Jedi Fallen Order is all about like finding out about the Jedi and exploring the light side of the Force. Do we think that the show is going to be about like the Sith and the bad guys and exploring the dark side of the Force?
That's exactly what I'm thinking this will be. Yeah.
Yeah.
The dark
That's what I
side
think,
of
too.
the Force.
You know what actually would be cool as well? If Ubisoft, a video game, I just completely remembered.
Can you say that
something.
again, Mace?
Yeah. Let me restart that sentence. You know what else I think would be a really cool idea for a Star Wars video game from Ubisoft?
Oh,
Sorry, I just remembered.
Ubisoft. I'm sorry. I was speaking on the behalf of Josh because I saw Josh make a face.
Ubisoft, whatever.
Okay. Anyways, continue.
Anyways, I would love to see something like The Division
Oh.
or like their Tom Clancy style games.
You want a cooperative like co-op game, bro?
Like a co-op third-person shooter where you could use like gadgets and stuff would be really cool. Yeah.
I wouldn't mind it. I think it'd be really cool to do like a heist game. Like it's like Payday,
Yeah.
but it's Star Wars.
That would be cool.
But
That'd be cool.
that is what Star Wars 1313 was essentially supposed to be. So
Yeah, I would love to see like being able to play as this like bounty hunter operator. You're able to run around these free worlds. You can travel to like different worlds or different sections of different planets and stuff. And you can deploy like I don't know, like an e-web or something. Like if you carry around an e-web, you can just slap down an e-web somewhere and just be like do 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 do. Or if you wanted to throw down like deployable cover, or like have one of those little probe droids that can run around and shock people, like how Iden Versio had. That would be
really cool.
awesome. And you could go and like invade Hutt strongholds, or like go and invade like imperial bases and stuff like that would be fun.
yeah. Well, hopefully we get some type of announcement soon. But guys, we
Oh man,
We
Hold on.
just-
I gotta.
what?
I want to throw this up and just mention this.
I don't know if you guys ever played Sea of Thieves, but yes. I've played a lot of Sea of Thieves. It's
A Star Wars Sea of Thieves would be really cool, as well.
But it's with spaceships.
But it's with
and it's
spaceship.
also different gameplay because of
Yeah,
with like Sea of Thieves,
A little
it is
different.
hard to fight people. Yeah. But yeah.
I
cool.
agree. A little more fluid.
All right. We just want to thank you all for being on here. We're on Instagram at
Instagram, let's go. Star Wars
Twitter.
Stuff Podcast.
Twitter at StuffPod.
Yeah,
Personally, our
TikTok.
favorite tag. My favorite tag.
TikTok. Search Star Wars Stuff Podcast. And please email
Go to
us
Gmail.
on Star Wars Stuff Podcast
Yeah,
at
go ahead.
Gmail. All right. And we're on audibletrial.com/stuff-podcast. We have a free code on there if you use our name. So I would definitely check that out. Please go on Apple and give us a review and tell David how great he is, because he is
He's
pretty great.
We're all trash comparative to
Yes.
to him. Honestly.
And
Give David 5 stars.
yep, we're on YouTube. And then please go on our stuffpodcastnetwork.com. Mason and Josh are either added to it or they are getting added to it. Of their bios and everything.
Hey!
Yep. And then go and follow us and sign up for our Patreon. We have a lot
let's
of
go
exclusive
Patreon. Woo! We are
we-
posting daily
Daily.
things. Always new content. Most of it's going to go to the Patreon.
Yep. So if you
Hashtag ABC. Always be contenting.
oh wow.
Yep.
All right.
ABCs.
But if you would like to see more of David, Patreon's the way to go. But with that being said, guys, we love you all. Thank you so much for being part of the Star Wars Stuff Podcast family. We would not be doing this if it wasn't for you guys.
Very true.
We're excited to see where Star Wars goes. We got
yeah.
D23 next in a couple of weeks. We got
Can't
Star Wars Celebration next year. We have all these shows coming out, Andor's coming out. And we have Rogue One back in IMAX next weekend. So we're excited. We love you all. May the Force be with you always.
Always.